Hi, folks. Finishing up my commentary. Scream, starring David Arquette, Nev Campbell, Drew Barrymore, and what's that one from Planet Terror? I forgot her name again. And of course, Matthew Lillard, who we all love. I am finishing up my movie commentary on Scream, the first one from 1996. I do believe 1996, right? Yeah, if I'm correct. That's what I believe it is. But yeah, I love this movie. I left it off about 8 minutes in, 18 minutes in, the first time. Sorry, I'm just checking something. Yeah, I was 18 minutes in, just about after our character, Drew Barrymore, Casey, the character's name is, was getting toyed with by our villain. Played with over the phone, given a horror movie trivia, sort of. So, that was kind of cool. Always love this film, Scream. It is 1996, right? If I'm not mistaken. It's 1996, right? It is. Let me just take a little look see here. See if I can't figure it out. I'm almost positive it's 96. Yeah, it is. It's 96. Yeah, it is. Here we have her parents coming home after she's already like in a hellhole, being being toyed with, her emotions just being toyed with, and just cat and mouse sort of deal. Just a sort of cat and mouse deal. Trying to keep the music down because I don't want to get fucking copyright bullshit. Obviously, I always get that shit. It made it made it so almost we were rooting for this girl to be the main lead. We wanted her to be the main lead. We did. I don't I don't have a lot of complaints with this film, but if there's maybe one complaint that I do have, it's I believe that Drew Barrymore deserved to live longer. That's my complaint out of all of them. She deserved to live a little bit longer, and I mean, yeah, I guess I don't have any other issues, but Courtney Cox, great, is our reporter. David Arquette, Dewey, is our cop. Again, the musical score. I love the musical score as we see this victim die. The music is just intensifying, and the parents are coming up and they're walking in, and the house is like full of smoke, and we've got this sad sort of dramatic score, and she's dying as they're looking for her, and she can't even talk, and she tries to call out her name and she can't her voice, she's like stabbed in the throat or something, and I find that very effective, very effective. and terrifying. That's a terrifying way to be murdered, honestly. And yeah, just the scream from the mother expressing such a form of dread, and while she watches her daughter hang from a tree, which was effective as it is. Again, I mentioned in my previous video that this was cut a little bit by the MPAA, who like to sort of get strict about movie policies and what sort of violence you could show and what violence you can't show, or things like that, of that nature. This was one of those films that was cut down a lot because they were going to get more violent with her boyfriend in the chair, taped up, guts were going to fall out, shit like that. Like literally, we were supposed to see way more than what they give us, but the MPAA fucking assholes cut it down and ruined it for everybody. And just, they toy with too much. Like, just let it be, dude. We could have films like Dead Alive, Brain Dead, from Peter Jackson, which you see a fucking zombie baby being put into a fucking uh, blender and chopped up. Like, and this was a problem. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, but again, I love this film for what it is. Not everything needs a big gore scene. It would have been cool. It would have been effective. It was already very heavily effective. It really was. Especially during this era where school shootings were kind of taking place. So I think it was around this era, but they were. I mean, they cracked down on Scream for some reason. Sorry. I'm sorry. Just having a margarita. Yeah. Here we have Skeet Ulrich, our sort of Johnny Depp from A Nightmare on Elm Street, being her crush, climbing through the window. You know, push this back a little bit. Climbing through the window, and he's a stud. Yeah, I like Skeet Ulrich, who we've seen in films such as Albino Alligator. He was in that show. What's that show that everyone likes? Is it Jericho? I think it was Jericho, I believe. But yeah, Skeet Ulrich does a good job portraying this character who we don't know whether to trust or not. So she loves him. I mean, about the sex stuff, I was only half serious. I don't want to push you or anything. Wonderful line from Skeet Ulrich. Billy, our character Billy. Sorry if you hear my stomach. Haven't had much to eat. Ah, dude, you're gonna fall. Come on, man. But yeah, I love the musical score. The musical score is very effective in this film. Way more effective than most films, where it's just boring and there's not much to it. For this score, there's a lot happening. It's really fun. It drags you in. It engages with you. It engages you. Got the school here. A lot of cameramen and sort of cameravans. And our first appearance of Courtney Cox. And this girl from Planet Terror. Again, I forget her fucking name. I forget her fucking name. But I believe if I remember correctly, her name was so we got our cast, a very big cast who people we all know or we've seen somewhere. And then our lead, Nev Campbell, our final girl, Courtney Cox, also our final girl, David Arquette, our final cop, Skeet Ulrich, who is Billy Loomis, and Drew Barrymore, who was Casey Becker in the beginning, and Matthew Lillard, who we all know and love from films like Scooby Doo and 13 Ghosts, and of course, in what we all know, our Five Nights at Freddy's movie, our first one. Rose McGowan, that was it. Rose McGowan. It was Rose McGowan. Uh, yeah, she was our blonde girl, and Jamie Kennedy, one of my personal favorites. I love to watch the Jamie Kennedy show a lot. I love Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy is a very underrated comedian slash actor. Do yourself a favor. You want to be entertained, go watch the Jamie Kennedy show on YouTube. Seriously. Jamie Kennedy is our sort of horror nerd who knows all about horror films. He's kind of the genius of the group. Definitely the more likable, relatable character who knows all about horror from the '80s to the fucking. Well, this is the '90s, but I mean, he knows all about the '80s, I guess. Prom night, Halloween. Later on in the film, we see him showing his friends the Halloween film with Jamie Lee Curtis, and he knows all about it. He's skilled with this shit. We have this sort of mystery. It's really a slasher teen mystery thriller, um, with also some comedy aspects. I'd say that there's plenty of comedy aspects in it too. Never alone. I love Matthew Lillard. Just Matthew Lillard, just amazing. I love that. That's a great actor. Our Shaggy, of course. It's hard not to love him. Even if he's a bad guy, it's so hard not to love him. It just takes such a genius actor to take these roles and still be so likable, you know? Likable and just like someone who you think that you've known from your teenhood. Like he reminds you of somebody that you would know from your teenhood, from your childhood, or teenage years, so to speak. Or, however, just something along those lines. I mean, love Matthew Lillard. Love him. Nev Campbell getting home from school and she's feeling like she's being stalked, sort of. You could definitely tell, again, with the atmosphere of the film is like, it's creepy. Like, she could feel something. I remember she sees this guy was blamed for her mother's death, and she's coming across it on the news. It's the guy from Ray Donovan, who's a really good actor, by the way. Really good. Do watch Ray Donovan if you have not. Yeah, he was blamed for her mother's murder, and she uh, she blames him. I mean, yeah, she blames him for her mother's murder. Sorry. And it was good camera work. A lot of good camera work with the sunset setting. Sorry if my dog is snoring. My dog is snoring. Yeah, that's right. Good puppy. Here's Nev's girlfriend on the other line calling her. It's funny to think about it because how far we've come with technology, and we're in this advanced stage of artificial intelligence, AI, and it's like we've come so far with technology and the internet and stuff like that, and just like a film like Scream could be so genius and so scary and so original, and it just, with the way how scary a phone can be with a simple ring, and you don't want to pick it up because it's like it could be this killer, or it's just like scary. It's a scary thought process. The way they made this, like, with a phone be so scary is almost the same way they made a car be scary with Christine. It's genius when you really think about it. With the way a phone rings and you're sort of suspicious, and they could be anybody. I mean, and it's like on internet, people see what you're doing 24/7. First of all, you're not hiding anything. People see everything. It's just as scary as this, literally scarier. Which is why the Scream franchise had so much potential, because internet has gotten so far, technology has gotten so far that it's not gonna just be a ring on the phone. It's gonna be them watching you through your fucking tablet watching you through everything. The killer can see you no matter what. Back in the era when it was not even texting, it was like remember the texting era when it was like, okay, I'll meet up with you, things like that. I'll meet you halfway. Start walking. It was the I'll meet you halfway era, where if you wanted to talk to somebody, it was a telephone or it was nothing. But it was just so genius to think about it because, I mean, first of all, it was a very successful franchise. If you hang up on me, you'll die just like your mother. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's like how far tech has come. It comes to mind. Again, Nev Campbell puts up a great fight. She's a badass. A great final girl. A hell of a lead. Definitely our Danielle Harris, Jamie Lee Curtis type of role, which she deserves. She earned her place. She did. She earned her place. Um, I I like her. I like her in other roles like The Craft. I think she's got a new show out. Yeah, there was a new show. I don't remember the name. It was like she was a lawyer or something like that. Yeah, no, I don't remember the name honestly. I can't for the life of me remember it. Damn. But I I've always liked Nev Campbell as an actress and her roles. Yeah, she's good at most of them. I'm sorry, I'm checking something. And here she suspects, right here, she suspects that her boyfriend is the killer because what we see is a phone fall out of his bag, and also our ghost face mask, our classic ghost face mask, and what? What's up? Come on, come on, boy. Okay. We have Skeet Ulrich being placed in cuffs and put into a police car. I, you know, okay, I guess I do have one gripe with the film. Part of me sometimes wishes that maybe Dewey could have vouched for our character Skeet Ulrich a little bit, just to make it more interesting. I don't know. He's bad. I mean, he's bad. Obviously, that's given away at the end. Again, if you're watching, I mean, spoilers. Skeet Ulrich is definitely bad. He's a bad guy. He's bad at the end. But I part of me wishes it would have been way more interesting if David Arquette. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. It would have been kind of cool if he just if he knew Billy Loomis a little bit and he just was friends with the guy and just give him some sort of character development. Rose McCowan answering to the reporter Courtney Cox. It's none of your damn business. That's funny. I love that character. Rose McCowan's character. I love it. Sassy, sort of. the popular girl that everyone hated or everyone loved or just super sexy, obviously. Because I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Rose McGowan was fucking sexy. She was. I'd be lying on my ass if I said she wasn't. You know, Nev Campbell, our character Cindy, frightened in a police station, and of course she suspects her boyfriend being the killer. Which, if that weren't me, man, I'd be like, bitch, you know what? Fuck you. I know it's a movie. I know that he's really the killer. It's just like how quickly she goes from loving him and liking him to completely just disconnecting and just assuming him